Oh no, it's not. Could you imagine if the book made me cry instead of making me feel warm inside? You know what? Now that I'm looking at my list, I'm like, what's the tentative here? Hello book reading friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Melanie, and today I am here with all the books I want to read in December, also known as my December TBR. I haven't done a dedicated TBR in forever. However, I feel like I need a little bit of order, like a tiny bit of a structure, a tiny skeleton, because I want to read so much this month. Like, I already completed my Goodreads goal, like I've already read 50 books, but there is still so many books that I want to squeeze in before the year's over. If you have yet to subscribe to my channel, don't forget to do so down below for more bookish content. I am constantly uploading videos that I am sure you do not want to miss, as well as I am live streaming throughout the week doing weekly reading sprints, which again you won't want to miss. And you can also follow me on all of my social medias, which are always linked down below, as well as my Amazon wish list. And yeah, without further ado, we are gonna be talking about quite a bit of books, because if you guys know anything about me, I am a mood reader. So this is all just a maybe and then some definite, so it's a little bit of a mix. So without further ado, let's get right into it. The first book I'm reading should come as absolutely no surprise to y'all, especially if you know that I am one of the hosts for the Thorns and Roses Along, which is starting in December, reading one book out of the Court of Thorns and Roses series all the way up to the release of the new book in February. So if you're interested in that, I will make sure to leave the announcement video linked down below. You are still on time because we now have a set date and time for our first live show, which is going to be December 27th, so right after Christmas at 5 p.m. EST. So I hope y'all can join us. It's definitely gonna be super fun. And that being said, the first book I'm gonna be reading is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This book honestly needs no introduction in this channel because I talk about it too much as it is. So if you want to know more about it, more about the read along, I will make sure again to refer you to that link. I will leave it up in the cards as well so you can check that out. It's most likely gonna be read closer to the live stream date, just so that I have everything fresh when we go into the live show. This is gonna be tons of fun. The second book I know I'm gonna be reading this month, and I have been looking forward to this book for the longest time ever. And when it got here to my doorstep, thanks to Molly because she did buy it off my wish list, I was so excited because ever since I heard about this book, I was just over the moon to know that not only one, was it translated work, but two, a person that I very much trust raved about it did, which is Jessie the Reader over here on Booktube, Jessie. And I was just, I need to read this book this month, okay? And I am talking about The Miracles of the Namiya General Store, and this is by Keigo Higashino. And let me just break this down a little bit for you, because not only is the cover gorgeous, like the flaps are like gold, but then the book without the dust jacket is purple. It's just a stunning book overall. But the synopsis, listen to this. When three delinquents hole up in an abandoned general store after their most recent robbery, to their great surprise, a letter drops through the mail slot in the store's shutter. This seemingly simple request for advice sets the trio on a journey of discovery as, over the course of a single night, they step into the role of the kind-hearted former shopkeeper who devoted his waning years to offering thoughtful counsel to his correspondents. The lens of time, they share insight with those seeking guidance, and by morning, none of their lives will ever be the same. I just got chills all over my body reading that synopsis. Like, it sounds so good. It's all I need to know. I don't need to know anything else. I've never heard anyone besides Jessie talk about this book, and I'm so thankful he did, because I want to get more into translated work as we roll into 2021. So I feel like this book will be the perfect transition into that. I'm just excited for it. It's also tiny. Like, if I compare it to Crescent City, the book is tiny. Like, it's so pretty. Like, I am excited for this book. I feel like this will be the perfect read for like Christmas time. Another book that is a definite in December. I'm definitely reading this, not only because I'm super excited for it, but also because I'm buddy reading this with Rachel from Let Me in the Library, and it is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. Now, if you watch my November wrap-up, you know that I did not have the best experience with Shadow and Bone. However, I have faith in this one because this one is the one where I hear a lot of hype for. So I have high hopes for this book, and it's also going to be a meaningful buddy read because not only am I excited for the book and I'm buddy reading it with Rachel, but Rachel is also the one that bought this for me from my wish list. I don't know what it is about the premise of a heist taking part in a book that is exciting me lately, and I feel like that's why I'm in the right mood currently for Six of Crows, because we do follow Cass Brecker, who is a professional con man, I believe, and he gets the opportunity of a lifetime presented to him for the biggest heist of his life, which will make him rich like no other man. Except this heist is so big that he cannot pull this off on his own. Therefore, he enlists the following group: crew. A convict with a thirst for revenge. A sharpshooter who can't walk away from a wager. A runaway with a privileged past. A spy known as the Wraith. A heartrender using her magic to survive the slums. A thief with a gift for unlikely escapes. And the last line of the synopsis says, Cass's crew are the only ones who might stand between the world and destruction if they don't kill each other first. Sounds so intriguing. I know Christine from Editorial Edge loves this. I know Sydney from Sydney Bookworm also loves this. I'm just excited overall for Six of Crows. I don't own the second one, so I'll only be reading the first one, but I feel like this is gonna be the book. I feel like this is gonna be one of those Lee Bardugo books that I will be able to vibe with, and I'm excited for it. This is probably going to be the first book I pick up in December. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think my TBR will go up December 2nd because my wrap-up will go up first, so hopefully by the time that this video is up, I've already started this book and made good progress, but I am talking about These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. I usually am not a Shakespeare person. Like, I kind of enjoyed myself in high school reading Shakespeare, but it was not necessarily my cup of tea. But this is a Romeo and Juliet retelling set in 1920s Shanghai, and just the twist of making this diverse and the twist of holding this story in the 20s in Shanghai elevates my excitement for this book because it's not your typical esque retelling set in a contemporary setting or set in a setting similar to the original story. The book, from what I know, also contains gangs, and I'm really intrigued. The story is also, I may be wrong, enemies to lovers to enemies, I believe, and I've never read a book like that, so I'm excited for that whole transformation and dynamic. And a small part of the synopsis says, a blood feud between two gangs runs the streets red, numbing the city to its chaos. At the heart of it all is 18-year-old Juliet Kai, a former flapper girl who has returned to begin her duties as the proud heir of the Scarlet Gang. Their only rivals in power are the White Flowers, who have fought the Scarlets for generations. And behind every move is their heir, Roma Montagov, who was Juliet's first love until he betrayed her. I do not need to know anything else, so I feel, oh my god, I can just feel the incredible dynamics coming. You guys know I am a sucker for good character dynamics. No matter if they're enemies, no matter if they're lovers, no matter if it's friendship, whatever it is, well-crafted characters who interact with each other in a really realistic way is just my cup of tea. I also saw Joel from Fictional Fates tweet that he'd started this book, and I'm excited for this. It is kind of a long one, and that is to say something because this is a taller hardcover, but I am still nonetheless excited, and I got this last month, and I truly wanted to squeeze it into November. It was not gonna happen. As you guys know, every month I've been reading at least one Throne of Glass book, and last month I read Queen of Shadows. So that means that this month, taking front and center, is Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas. This is the 5th book. I had to double check. I was like, alright, how many books have I read? But this is the 5th book in the series. I've heard so many people say this is their favorite, and I am ready for it because I have a theory. I have a theory surrounding Rowan, and I just need to be right because I've had this theory since Heir of Fire, because Sarah J. Maas has her little formula, and it's already kind of happened in this book. There's just one little element that I want confirmed because there's no way that it's not happening. There's just no way. Everyone also knows what Throne of Glass is, so I feel like it doesn't really need the synopsis, and I'm excited for this one. It is the biggest one yet, 689 pages, so I'm being kind of ambitious with the amount of pages that I want to read this month. I don't know how that's gonna go, but I can still hope for the best. You know what? Now that I'm looking at my list, I'm like, what's the tentative here? Because I really want to read all of these. So what happens if this ends up being my best reading month to date? Because it's possible. And this next book is also one that I talked about in my, oh my god, what was the video called? Book series I want to start in 2021. However, I lied because I'm starting this book in December. But it's happening because I'm intrigued. And people have said, ending of this book is wild. And if you know anything that gets me, it's a good ending, especially if it's a cliffhanger. That doesn't matter. The point is, the next book on my list is Bone Crier's Moon by Catherine Purdy. And in this world, we have bone criers who have a sacred duty to keep the dead from preying on the living. And every bone crier needs to make a sacrifice to both of their gods in order to prove their dedication to them. And that is basically killing their one true love. Now, I don't know if they are going to be soulmates or just like the person that they fall in love with, but I'm guessing these people are like destined from birth. So I'm gonna say they're soulmates. So in this book, we follow Elise, who is meant to be the matriarch of the bone criers. And again, she is expected to fulfill her piece as a show of dedication to their gods. And the boy who's meant to be her one true love of is called Bastian, but his father was actually killed by a bone crier. So he is seeking revenge in his name. So y'all know this is gonna be an enemies to lovers, and I am here for it. That's all I need to know about this book. The cover is gorgeous. It's a cute moment, and I'm just here for it. I'm just waiting to see how this is going to develop. I've heard incredible things about this book. I don't think I've ever heard a single negative, so I have expectations. In November, I was supposed to film a middle grade reading vlog. Safe to say that didn't happen amidst other things that I needed to do. The video just completely escaped me, and I ended up doing other reading vlogs that took front seat. And so at this point, I don't even know if it's happening or if it's not happening. Let me know if you'd still like to watch that, because I still have the middle grades that I bought for that video. However, I do want to try and squeeze in this particular book because I feel it'll be the perfect heartwarming read for December, and it is the first book in the Pages & Co trilogy, Tilly and the Book Wanderers. Again, a book I have heard so many incredible things about. I know Gavin loves this, I know Molly loves this, and so I'm just excited to read this. I feel like December is probably one of the best times of the year to actually read middle grades because they just fill you with happiness and they're more lighthearted than your typical reads. Every time I think about this book, I just feel so happy inside, and I don't even know why. Like, I haven't even read this, but the synopsis is just giving me all the feels. And in this book, we follow 11-year-old Tilly, who has lived at the top of her grandparents' bookstore because her mother mysteriously disappeared when she was younger. And one day, Tilly realizes that she possesses this weird magic called book wandering, where she can essentially bring her favorite characters from books to life. And so, enlisting the help from some of her favorite characters like Anna from Green Gables and Alice in Wonderland, she will set out on this adventure to try and find out exactly what happened to her mother when she was younger. So heartwarming. I am excited for this, and I'm just ready, okay? The cover, I cannot get over it. Like, it's so gorgeous. So hopefully I will be able to read this in December. I feel maybe this will be a book that I can read closer to Christmas, maybe? Could you imagine if the book made me cry instead of making me feel warm inside? Whichever of the two, I'm just excited about it. I'll welcome it with open arms. Another book that I want to try and read in December. Again, I really didn't think this through. I'm just telling you guys all of my tentatives, and I am talking about The Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. I read The Poet X last month. Became one of my favorite books of all time, my favorite books of the year. It was such an incredible, stunning novel. Like, I just cannot get over Elizabeth Acevedo's writing. Like, it blew my mind, it truly did. And so because I own this book, I really want to try and squeeze this in because I feel like through reading Elizabeth's books and her stories, I've been able to feel heard like I've never been able to feel in literature before. And so I want to get a little bit of that too in December because I feel like this book will be equal parts heartwarming as it will be heartbreaking. And you know what? I'm ready for it. I need me a little bit of diversity, a little bit of spice in December. And what better way to read another Latinx book in the month? And it's also a story that revolves around food. Hear me out. In this book, we follow Emory Santiago, who actually got pregnant freshman year. And ever since she did, her life has been all about making those tough decisions that not everyone can make. She is doing everything she can in order to keep her daughter and her abuela afloat. And it's been very stressful, I could guess, because the only place where she can let all of that go is in the kitchen, actually. And listen to the later half of the synopsis. It says, even though she's always dreamed of working in a kitchen after she graduates, Emoni knows that it's not worth her time to pursue the impossible. Yet despite the rules she's made for her life and everyone else's rules, which she refuses to play by, once Emoni starts cooking, her only choice is to let her talent break free. There's just something about Elizabeth and the way she writes her characters that they are all so strong and so decided, and they will not let themselves be deterred by what people think they should do. And so I cannot wait to get into this. It's not written in verse like The Poet X was, so it will take a little bit more time to read. And I will check script because I think this audiobook is also narrated by Elizabeth. And if it is, I'm totally doing that because her narration skills are unbelievable. A book that I've been saying I'm gonna read ever since August, September, and it still hasn't happened, but I will try and squeeze this in for December as well. It may not happen. I'm seeing every book I have here is at least 400 pages. So I don't know if this is gonna happen, but I can still put it in here and call it a maybe. I'm talking about 9000 by Leigh Bardugo. Probably not the best book for December. However, do I want this book to roll over to 2021, I really wouldn't want to. So I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna try my best and find a point in the month where I am ready for this book. I have Molly's bookmarks from 9th house, which are perfect for this read now. So I have absolutely no excuse to not read this book now. This book is a dark academia set in Yale University, and we follow Alex Stern after a big accident where she's the only one left alive. And while she is on bed in the hospital, she receives the opportunity of a lifetime to go to Yale and infiltrate one of the secret societies there. However, she doesn't really understand the reasoning behind why this is happening and why they need her help so much. So she decides to embark on this journey, perhaps knowing that she is not the best fit person for this university. And once she gets there, she starts seeing a more sinister side to secret societies, which are almost cult-like, that could potentially put her life in danger. And I honestly am excited for this book. I just don't know what's holding me back from picking it up, because the last time I attempted to, I read 25 pages and I put it down. I just wasn't in the mood for it. So hopefully I'll be able to find, again, a moment within the month where I'm actually in the mood for it. It does sound like a darker theme. Again, dark academia, set in a very, very prestigious school. Again, it's Leigh Bardugo, which is super hyped. So it's a book that I definitely want to get into, and I have no excuse because a lot of my friends love this, and also it may just be a buddy read with Jaleesa and Molly. I'm not sure, but I think we're all planning to read this in December. We'll see what happens. Another buddy read I have this month, and it is with Molly. It's Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. This is a very short book, so I have the confidence that I'll be able to read this pretty quickly. I think it's under 300. Oh no, it's not. It's almost 400 pages. See, the small books are the most dangerous ones, because they be fooling you into thinking that they're less than 300, and when you look at them, they're a lot bigger than you think they are. That's exactly what this book is. In this book, however, we do follow Chloe Brown, and Chloe is a chronically ill geek with the goal to live her life at her fullest. In order to do that, she crafts a list of things that she believes she needs to do in order to get a life. And the list is the following: enjoy a drunken night out, ride a motorcycle, go camping, have meaningless but thoroughly enjoyable sex, travel the world with nothing but hand luggage, and do something bad. And it's not that easy. Chloe needs a teacher. She needs somebody who will let her get loose, and that is how she enlists the help of Red. And so again, it is a romance. Since the amount of books that I have in their majority are kind of like fantasy, I will need some palate cleansers. And if you know me, my palate cleansers are romances and contemporaries, so I'll definitely feel like I'll need this at some point of the month. Honestly, I don't know what happened to me, because I had like 15 books on my TBR, and just the idea of putting 15 books on a TBR to me is crazy, because again, I am a mood reader, so for the most part, I do follow TBRs because it's what I'm in the mood for. But then as the month starts progressing, I just start picking books off my bookshelf that I feel like reading. So I don't want to put 15 books in here and self-sabotage, because I know it's going to happen, and I have these 10 books, and the probability of me reading all of these and not switching it around is very unlikely. So I don't want to do that to myself with 15 books. So I think 10 books is a good number for me. So that being said, these are the 10 books that I plan to read in December, apparently. Again, I don't know how or when I wrote down 15, because I've never read 15 books in a month before, so I don't know what I thought when I said 15 books in my head, because that's just not realistic. Like, it makes no sense to me. However, we are hosting a 24-hour readathon on the 14th of December, so for that, I don't know if I'll just read any of these, or maybe I'll do like a secret TBR for the readathon. Whatever I end up doing will most likely mess up my TBR, and that's why I have room for more books. 10 books means realistically I can read this and add a little bit more if I really feel up to it. That's just what I'm sticking to, right? That's what I'm sticking to right now. So those are all the books that I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this December TBR. Again, I don't ever do TBRs, but I thought for December it would be fitting. And honestly, I really do see myself reading all of these books, which is a first. So again, I quite like this selection. It feels realistic. I have room for a little bit more books. So yeah, let me know down below what you are planning to read for December. Let me know if you're reading any Christmassy books. I honestly feel like December is a really good month to read fantasy. I don't know why. I don't know if that's only me. And if you reach the end of this video, make sure to comment down some Christmas trees. It It is Christmas season. It is the time to give back. And so I'm just excited for December. I have a bunch of surprises for you guys, which will be dropping throughout the month. If you want to stay more in tune, you should definitely follow me on all of my social medias, which are always linked down below, especially Twitter. That is the platform where I'm most active at. Linked down below is also my Amazon wish list in case you want to support me and my channel and gift me a book. And don't forget to subscribe down below for more bookish content. I am constantly uploading videos, and December more than ever, I just want to work towards giving back to you guys in whatever ways I can, because I know December is going to be a tough month for some of us. We are not going to get to see our families like we typically do. And even if it's something as what would feel minuscule as a video, I just want to make sure that your days are the happiest that they can be, and that, you know, you get to feel that jolly spirit that is December. I think we all deserve to be happy in this month. The year has been super difficult, so I will be posting more frequently in December. I am aiming for 3 or 4 videos a week plus reading sprints, so hopefully I'll be able to deliver with that. It's gonna take a lot of work, but hopefully, again, in the name of you guys who have been incredibly supportive, y'all are just the sweetest people alive, I'll be able to again deliver and bring maybe some happiness to your household. And yeah, that is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, also don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And yeah, I love you all so much, and I will see you on my next video. Bye guys.